You had more practice,
Yeah,
so they had to catch up to you.
yeah.
Um, first they took the mailbox down at, on Park Boulevard, and then they took the one down at the old library. So there were none
Yeah,
in that area at all.
Mm.
And I talked to Patrick, I wrote a letter to the postmaster in Concord.
Mm.
And he said eventually we'll get one at the new library. But before that happened, they put another one where the Oak Park Liquor is.
oh,
And then they put another one by the voting facility at the library.
I library.
It's kind of far off. But they're both new machines.
Mm.
They don't open anymore.
Oh, they don't.
There's a little slot,
Lot.
and they're more tamper proof that way. They can't break into them.
Or drop garbage.
Yeah, right.
That's it, or you can spoil the mail.
Yeah,
There was one at the Oak Park Liquor for a number of years, I think.
that was relatively, no, it wasn't, it was not there, but it was
A little
one
further
building
down.
over, yeah.
Yeah,
What people
I-
used to do is they used to run into it, trying to get off the road.
Okay. Maybe they were stopping at the liquor store for.
Don't think so, but it could have been.
On the way to the liquor store.
Yeah.
For one second trip.
That one got wiped out a couple times. Cause they pull off the road and there was that little indentation and that would kind of make them a little airborne and then they.
I remember there was one of those sycamore trees got lost that way too, it never got replaced, that they hit it hard enough that the tree went over and. Wow.
Yeah. So I guess they figured it's safer to put it by the new library way out rather than close to the building where somebody may take
Yeah,
out part of the building.
that's a good place for those spots.
It is, cause you can pull right up to it.
It's appropriate,
Yeah.
it's a public gathering place too.
Mm-hmm. Shows, I think I would.
What?
I'm already checked for Measure S, but I don't think I can do it in this building, can
You can write a check in this building, yeah.
I? I mean, can I leave a check in this building?
I'm like, yes, we can get it to the campaign.
So all of you know what Coinstar is?
Yeah,
So Coinstar kicks out foreign coins. That would make sense, right?
kick them out, right.
Yeah, puts in a little down below. It also kicks out silver coins.
Mhm.
So anything before 1964 would be kicked out.
It's not the right weight.
Hmm?
It's not the right weight.
It's not the right composition,
Oh, it's composition. I was thinking weight was the issue.
but I found this in Coinstar along with 20 foreign coins and 2 quarters and 8 half dollars.
Somebody left it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. The Liberty quarter.
it's an old quarter. And I'm not sure if it's right. It's a little bit lightweight and a little bit big. But you can have it authenticated. I was happy.
That's what they did. It's a nice find.
They take a kind of a cut, don't they, when, if you put.
10%.
That's
They're
a
not
fair
gonna-
amount, yeah, especially when you've got a lot. I used to put all my change in my pocket. And from from my pocket into a giant jar. And then I, would, yeah, and then I finally took it to the bank. They needed coins.
Yes,
So they did it for free.
yes.
I had over $1,000.
Whoa.
I'm glad I didn't do the 10% thing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Interesting.
Friends of Pleasant Hill Parks.
Thank, Friends of Pleasant Hill Parks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I bank with Pacific Service Credit Union, and for members, they have a big coin machine, and you can bring them
For free.
there and for free, so yeah.
And they'll wrap them?
Yeah, you just put them in there, it's like a Coinstar machine, you just put it in there, and then they'll give you the paper, and you go to the teller and get your money, so
Except they don't take 10%.
they do not take 10%.
Of
That's awesome.
course, you can't find things like this there either.
You know, but we were cleaning out my uncle's house after he passed, he had a big, huge
Jar.
Yeah, like a water thing, like, you know, for like the old water.
5-gallon water
Water
jar.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we brought that in there and brought it in, we ended up with like, I think it was like $1,200 or something.
Yeah,
yeah,
Like
it's
that, so
surprising.
it's
I had
surprising.
a chance to buy one of those at a garage, so I didn't, and I should have, because it was dirt cheap compared to what was inside of it.
Yeah,
Just gotta haul it out, huh?
You gotta haul it out, you needed a hand truck.
you need a hand truck, yeah. It's definitely heavy.
Yes.
If anyone has joined us online, the board is still in closed session. So they have not arrived yet, and our camera is not working today, so we will get audio only.
Are you able to figure out how many do join online, is there any way to calculate it?
I can't, if I go to YouTube, it'll show me how many views,
Minutes?
so that's usually how I can tell. But.
So I'll call it cancel. Thank you.
Hey there.
Thank you all for being here. Sorry, we're late.
Yes.
Hey, thank you, Bobby.
Sandy, I made an announcement to those
Finally
who
got
are
that
on
taken
the-
care of.
the
I'm good.
camera is fuzzy, we can't, so we're going audio only tonight. I didn't.
We need to speak
That
up.
one's supposed to-
Yeah, well, yeah, it'll catch you.
And I saw you're better.
Oh, that's right.
Somebody says it.
Yeah.
All right,
My legs aren't down.
get to my next. Okay. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of Pleasant Hill Rec and Park District Board of Directors for September 26th, 2024. We're late. It's 7:11 PM. We are in the district office. All 5 directors are present and accounted for. And let's see, Bobby, would,
Before you move to that, can you report out on the closed session? please?
yes, we had a meeting regarding the public employee performance evaluation for the general manager. And that's all we have to report.
No decisions were made,
No decisions were made.
no reportable decisions were made, I should say.
Yes, no reportable decisions were made. Thank you. All right, now, let's see, Bobby, if you would lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you again for your patience. We always appreciate when we have people in our audience. It's always nice to see. Public comment is an opportunity for members of the public to comment on any item at this time that is not on our agenda. So are these items
Not on the agenda.
not on the agenda? Okay, all right. Let's see. I'm going to call on Ken Housefeld. How you doing, Ken?
I'm doing well. It's usually at least once a year.
Yes.
Relay for Life is gonna occur this Saturday at Pleasant Hill Park. Thank you for your cooperation and your support. Bobby formed a team for Rec and Park / City Fights Cancer again and made a generous donation. I really appreciate that, Bobby. Thank you. And I left information about the relay in case any of you were able to attend. There's also information about a fundraiser that Iran and Rupert Pereira are gonna have on October 5th. We're excited about a couple things. One is that after 15 years, UCSF John Muir had formed a team for the relay. And they signed up 29 people for their team, which is by far the largest team we will have at the relay. And secondly, tomorrow I'm gonna pick up a check from Postino's Restaurant. They've held a golf tournament which supports the relay for the last 8 years. This year they raised $36,500.
Huh, that's good.
So with that money, we're gonna go over our $60,000 goal, which we had this year. And we're also gonna go over the $1 million mark of funds raised since the start of the relay. So those are exciting things. We really appreciate that. Also, I'd like to leave a check, if I may, for the Friends of Pleasant Hill Library for Measure S. And my mother taught me that when I go to meetings to try and leave a little food, so I'm gonna leave this. That's all I have to say.
That's the best food. Ken,
Yes.
we thank you. You've been involved with Relay for Life for many, many years, and you're a big part of why it's such a successful event. So we thank you very much.
Thank
Do
you.
any directors have any questions?
Very good. Have a good meeting.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Alan Baudet. Good to see you again.
Yes, good to see you too, though I just saw Derek this time. We ended up Ellenwood and we got it pretty cool. I think it's really good. It's Community Service Day. So I wanted to invite everybody to
a meeting on October 7th. We've rented the McHale room at the community center. Free, and I've brought one of these for everybody here. And this will be in the bi-weekly newsletter going up tomorrow, I believe. I sent it to Jeff Gillette and he said, I asked him if he needed me to reduce it down more. And he didn't tell me anything. So this is, as you know, the Walnut Creek Watershed Council, of which I'm a board member, is engaged in a watershed planning process in collaboration with the flood control district. And we are hosting this meeting locally so that people, the general public can come, public agencies can come. We're going to invite city staff as well and hear about that planning process. And we have about 85 to 90 sites throughout the watershed that we articulated into a spreadsheet that a consultant with the flood control district has been mapping. So they have a map, they've mapped them in ArcGIS. This will be a tool for future grant writing kinds of efforts. Grant writing as well as mitigation. It was mandated by the Regional Water Quality Control Board that flood control district have this kind of mitigation site list as well as restoration site list as part of our watershed restoration plan. So we are very complementary, collaborative, and in conjunction, we're really talking to the flood control district about how to do all this. As you know, the Park District has great creekside parks. And so at a later date, I'd like to talk to Michelle and all of you about what other priorities you might have. It turned out, we're submitting a grant application for Shannon Hills. That happened to work out to be something that Tom, I think, had a priority of removing that ivy. So hopefully we can get that done at no expense to the Park District. Michelle, I sent you all the documents that I have from Claire from Helix. And there's a budget there and a delineation of the figures, as well as the data that will be put into the Easy Grants application that the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation asks us to use. The Resource Conservation District will be putting that information into the Easy Grants application. I think the Pleasant Hill portion of it came out to be about 184,000. The Walnut Creek portion was about 235. So I think we're applying for the full 500 that was available in the NFWF grant for this local area. So I'm a little new to this and I apologize for it coming to a head right before tomorrow's deadline. But we're working with a, it's not something that we control the timing, because Helix, the consultant, is doing this on their dime. So they had paying work and they had a staff shortage that they had to attend to. But Michelle has the documents. And if there's any questions or anything, I'll be available tomorrow, Michelle, if you need answers on anything. So I think that's what I just wanted to say. I wanted to make sure that you all knew about this, and it's a public meeting. So I think that's.
Thank you. I just put it on my calendar.
Okay.
Anybody have
Any
any
questions? Yes.
Yeah, so due date tomorrow, but yet when would they find out about the result?
January 2025.
Okay.
And then all the CEQA, all this is all paid for 100% if we get it. All the CEQA planning, all that stuff would happen, starting February-ish, with the intention of doing the work in the fall, starting the work in the fall. And so the invasive species removal of ivy removal would be in the fall. They would do the CDFW grant or CDFW application or permitting as well, all the permitting they would have to handle first.
Yeah.
And then they have a suggested plant list, plant palette in the documents that I sent to Michelle. But those are, they said that they can be adjusted according to either availability or site
Seasonality,
conditions.
yeah.
So, and then it would be 3 years of maintenance until 2029. Yeah. They would install the irrigation system. And Michelle confirmed that there was a water spigot available for that, or Tom. There's a valve, yeah. So I think Michelle could probably send you the documents and you'll answer any more questions. So,
Thank
Sounds
you,
good.
Alan.
yeah, any other questions?
We always appreciate you coming and
Mhm, thank you.
Well, thank you. I wanted to try to keep you up to date as much as I can, as I know things.
Yeah.
So I'm a little new to this, I'm a retired carpenter and cabinet maker, so I'm trying to do something a little different in my retirement.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay,
thanks,
Very
Al.
passable. Right. Okay, unless we have other public comment. I will close public comment and we will move on to reports and presentations. The first one is report from our ex officio teen council rep, Lila Nikolich.
Okay. College Park Choir had their first show of the year on September 19th. It went extremely well and the turnout was great. They have Bella Notte on October 26th. And then College Park Band has their 24th annual musician showcase on October 19th, where 500 of their students will be attending. Drum is hosting their Halloween original acts from October 23rd to 25th. And then last Friday, CP football played Acalanes. Unfortunately, both teams lost, but varsity was winning during the first quarter, 14-0. But and then tomorrow the teams will play at Los Lomas. JV's at 4:30, varsity's at 7. Girls volleyball played Benicia on Tuesday. They put up an amazing fight, but unfortunately they didn't win. And then they had a game tonight at 6:30 at Northgate. Yesterday, girls flag football played Concord in the Ignacio Valley. They won both games with ease. Their next game is tonight at 7:30 at Pittsburgh. Girls golf has been doing great at their matches and tournaments. Today, they played Concord at 3:30. Yesterday, cross country had their first DAL meet. Varsity boys got second place out of 12. Girls varsity got 6th place in their race. And then Jack Rattery also holds the new school record for the 3-mile run at 14 minutes and 37 seconds. And then girls tennis unfortunately lost to Northgate on Tuesday. And then they had a game tonight at Miramonte. And then boys water polo beat Foothill High School 23-3 yesterday and move on to their rival Northgate next week at home. Girls water polo unfortunately lost to Clayton Valley last night in a tough match, but they play Los Lomas on Monday. And then teen council is, like I've said before, is planning to volunteer at Haunted Trail and Holiday Boutique. We're also planning for a car wash, hopefully next month because we didn't get to it this month. And then Battle of the Bands will hopefully happen in January. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Uh,
Any questions?
I have one. I was curious, at the Tinkers and Thinkers, I saw Falcon X, I think it was,
Mhm.
or the robotics, is that a club?
Yeah, it's a
activity
club.
at College Park? Yeah, I was just kind of curious, like, what are some of the other club activities? So I don't know, at some point maybe you inform us about some of those things that are happening,
Alright, there's a lot of
'cause
clubs at our school.
I've seen some of the, here and like, how we,
Yeah.
got the STEM technology as part of the Tinkers and Thinkers. I thought it might be interesting to hear about some of the club activities.
Yeah, just that club or just like.
Oh, just in general.
Well, we just had club day last week on Wednesday where it was like all like the club set up booths in the quad and like everyone had a chance to sign up for whatever club they wanted to. And we have robotics. And then we have like clubs like Interact where people can just go and volunteer at community events. And then we have just like clubs where people like anime club or dancing club where people just like, go to whatever clubs that they enjoy doing. And then we also have like HOSA, which is like, like the health careers one where people learn about stuff. So we have like a large variety of clubs at our school, but it's all student run, so.
you guys should follow the College Park Instagram page is a good follow. You might recognize some people on there.
Oh, yeah.
They do a really good job. That was
Getting it.
popped up on my
Thank you.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Okay, great.
And then fall break is.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's coming up from the.
Not next week, but the week
Yeah.
after.
Throwing
Yeah.
all of us for a loop.
I'm so excited.
Right, an entire week, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And all of a sudden I saw we had camps, I'm like, what are we camps? in October.
Right, well, thank you, Ira.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Great report.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
You too.
We will move on to item 4.2, a report from the general manager.
Yes, thank you, Chair Vincent, members of the board, I included a written report, I just had a couple of highlights, just to put on your calendar. Next, Saturday, October 5th, there's the Harvest Festival at Rogers Ranch Heritage Center. So they are hosting their annual, during a Harvest Festival from 10 to 2 p.m. And that should be a lot of fun. And then Pumpkin Splash is on October 13th. It's a fun way for some of the older kids to pick out a pumpkin is to jump in the pool. Hopefully, it seems like we're having like 90 degree days. It may still be warm then. So, and then the Haunted Trail is on October 25th. And so we're excited about that. And then, you know, and for aquatic services, the fall swim program has been booming, so I think that's gonna translate even more into increased enrollment in the spring as well for dolphins. So it's highly sought after program, and so it's really great that that those swimmers are still engaged. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Just a note on that. It's gotten to the point where the Dolphins, I mean, I think this is important for the group to know. It's the team has gotten so big because there's so much involvement and so much desire to be a part of the program that we're actually looking at not having away meets because there's no other pools that can really accommodate a team our size. Yeah, so it makes us an attractive, people love coming to, you know, like a bigger pool, a bigger facility, so more incentive it'd be nice it's nice to have that going into something potentially, you know, we've got a wish list of having a new facility to replace our 70-year-old pool. We have a booming, thriving program.
Double make use of it.
Yeah, and the Trey and Glover kids are gonna be out there like,
Gonna be
you know.
dominating next year.
We're gonna be almost there.
So far, she's won every one of her heats.
Yeah.
Moving on up.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Michelle. We will move on to item 5, our consent calendar. It's our approving the bills to be paid, warrants. If anybody has any questions, I will entertain a motion to approve.
Move approval of the consent calendar.
Got a motion to approve it?
I will second.
Director Donato is seconding. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you very much. Next one item,
Come on
come
down.
on, Chris. 6.1, we're going to receive the report regarding the district's financial statements ending June 30th, 2024.
Good evening, directors. I provided a written report. Just a few highlights. Local property taxes were up about 4.2% this year. Surprisingly, at least to me anyway, we received some redevelopment funds of about $332,000. Not quite clear if that was 1 or 2 years, and I'm not sure if that was one-time money. We might not see quite so consistently, but we'll keep an eye on it and keep you informed. There's a lot of moving pieces, for sure, at least from my point of view. I provided some feedback from the managers and their various departments. I think, several of the departments that have reported throughout the year, they're, seeing some challenges, in childcare and that kind of thing. But, all in all, the district did pretty well. Some were up, some were down, and at the end of the day, it came together with, in my opinion, a fairly nice year. Of course, I'm open to any questions, and general manager, of course, is steeped in it as anybody, of course.
Do you want to talk a little bit about your fund report? The very back.
Sure.
Yes.
The fund report gives you, the overall operating budget gives you an idea of what was spent and revenue came in, but the fund report gives you where we are as a district, kind of on a cash basis at the end of the year.
Sure. So, at the end of the year, the district was sitting on about $6.8 million. 2.8 of that was in the general fund, so unallocated. The district has really made a huge investment in its capital program. So at least at the end of the year, we had about 3.4 million available for capital improvements. I listened to the CIP meeting. It seems like the district is on track to spend a lot of that. You can see the other funds, the other small internally designated funds here. And again, the district is sitting in a pretty good position. It's able to fund the projects that the board has put before us, at least for the foreseeable future. And I think we'll kind of continue on this path as long as tax revenue and fees for service continue to perform as they have. I think there's also some expectation that maybe some of those programs that didn't perform so well last year are going to see some return. At least that's the rumors I've heard. I'm sure Michelle can talk a little bit more about that.
Anybody have any questions?
Michelle, will there be a proposal coming to us to move some of the unallocated funds into the CIP fund?
There may well be. I was waiting until this conversation happened. As you see, we were at, we're budgeted at 8 to have a surplus of 18,000 and we had a surplus of 63. So I think there will be that, but I wanted to wait until after this conversation. So
Thank you. Yeah, I understand the timing, so
Yeah.
just wondered what the plan was.
Yeah.
Because that's not a huge amount of money, so sometimes we just leave it.
Yeah, and we could just leave it, maybe Chris and I, after this conversation, Chris and I will have that conversation. But we will want to move, maybe some of the assessment district funds to the general fund as well. So we'll kind of do all of that as a cleanup. So. But with the potential bond measure, we want to make sure that we're showing a decent surplus as well. So that's kind of a balance right now.
I have a curiosity question on the athletic services. The increased use of premises costs from the school district.
Yeah, so my understanding there, and maybe Michelle can speak more to it than I can, but when talking with Victoria about that, I guess we were being charged at a lower rate and we just realized that possibly the youth rate. And they realized that we were having maybe older or adult programs there. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe they were mischarging us for our adult programs. So, so there's two different rates that we have for the youth programs. It's highly subsidized by the district, so it's probably below their actual costs. And then, but then we have the adults, programs like basketball and, badminton and those sort of things. So they have a different rate, but they also increased their they increased all of their fees across the board, including their custodial fees, which is one of the largest fees we pay them, is their hourly custodial fees on top of the regular fees. So,
And these are the premises at Pleasant Hill Middle?
Pleasant Hill Middle primarily, yeah.
Okay. I keep, I think of the pool and I forgot.
Yeah, we utilize that gym.
Basketball.
Yeah, the gym is used
is-
also. Yeah. Okay, well, that answered my question. Thank you. Go ahead.
Well, I had a question about the redevelopment funds. We don't necessarily know, how much that came from over what period of time, but do we even know how those funds like who sets the fees that are assigned for the redevelopment funds?
Well, it's basically funds that are coming back to us as redevelopment is no longer. And so there's some tax increment from that closing. And so we get an undetermined amount each year. So some years it's larger than others.
Yeah.
As those redevelopment
That's why it
funds flow. So
fluctuates. Okay.
and so it fluctuates. It's usually about or it has been in the past, about $150,000 a year. This year we got 300.
That's why you can sort of suspect it was
Yeah.
over 2 years.
Yeah, over 2 years because we
It's
didn't.
been more than 4 years since we've
Yeah.
gotten any that I've seen.
Yeah, and they changed, I think they used to lump it all together and they changed their system this year. They have a brand new system, so it's a little easier to figure out
Where
what,
it's coming
yeah,
from.
where they're coming from, so. So, it was there, Chris, it just
It
wasn't,
just didn't,
it
it wasn't,
wasn't called out.
wasn't a different line, but it was very clear what it was this
This year,
year
yeah.
and,
Mhm.
yeah, so.
Okay,
Any other questions, comments? Okay, we're just receiving this report and not,
No comments, yeah.
we have no action item other than receiving it, so we all have received it. Thank you very much. Always good to see you.
Any, absolutely, but
Thank you.
just.
Okay.
Next, we will move on to item 7, verbal reports from committees. We don't have
We
any
didn't have any.
scheduled,
We didn't have any.
didn't have any. So we'll move on to item 8, board announcement, request to staff. Start with Director Glover. Director Bernardo.
Yeah, just one request of Michelle. In light of what Alan Body, mentioned here, about sort of a confab of, prospective creek-related, issues in the future. I would be interested in having you keep your ears perked for whether there are liability waivers for changing, creek beds and things, because we know about how that works. So if we could, be looking for whether there are, again, waivers of liability or, something that, because it's certainly supportive of, restoring our wetlands and doing all that, that stuff, but
Yeah, I had
gotta think about both sides of the
Yes,
equation.
and I had a conversation with the watershed council and their staff, and they are aware that before they're applying for the grant, but we will need an MOU in place with liability
Thank you.
waivers and things like that, so, but they don't wanna, none of us want to put that work in if we don't get the grant, because it's not gonna be funded, so, but they are aware.
Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Secretary Wurst?
nothing from me other than I'll be at the Rogers Ranch Heritage Center for that festival.
Vice Chair Tran?
Not too much, Mid-Autumn Festival, just passed this past week. There's still plenty of mooncakes to buy if you want to have your mooncakes. If you want them, they're very good. The selection here is not as good as San Francisco or San Jose, but still good. And then, of course, it's National Hispanic Heritage Month going into October. So hoping that the district can celebrate that ethnic group as well. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. I saw several of you at Tinkers and Thinkers. It was awesome. Per usual. The ice cream area there was long lines when I went in there.
We ran out. We bought more this
Yeah.
year and we ran out still.
Yeah, it was, I always get excited seeing Tinkers and Thinkers and walking through and seeing all the activity and one of the other fun things is to watch the kids with the cardboard boxes. They have all these cardboard boxes and the kids are putting them all up in towers and doing things and sometimes taping them. There's all kinds of things for them to do. The pizza, one little girl had her science fair project, which was using a pizza box you could like solar warm up pizza with the reflection from foil and something else. I thought, oh, I have to find that and send that to my granddaughters. They would love that. That was great. I also had the opportunity to attend the Contra Costa Association of Realtors. They have an annual event for electeds. It was at the community center. We weren't actually invited, but I went as a +1. So it was nice because I could go around and talk to people. People were there from Martinez, from Concord, Walnut Creek. I don't think there were any other special districts there, but just different city people, some I had met before. And it was basically just a mix and mingle event. There was no, I think somebody might have said something for maybe 30 seconds, but it was very nice. And it was just a chance to get together and recognize who some of these folks were and what was going on in their various areas. So did get an opportunity to put a few plugs, and they all love the community center. You know, it's just, oh, this is such a great facility. So that was nice. I did take the prejudice training that Ryan Dowd made available. It was about 90 minutes, well worth it. And his modules, I'm enjoying, you know, learning and seeing what's happening in that particular area. He does a good job. Community Service Day, saw you there and other people there. That was always fun. And I know I talked to Alan from they had the breakfast here in the morning, and talked to Alan, and he was getting ready to plant the tree right over here. So that was fun to see him and some of the other folks on the staff. The senior center open house, that was on the 20th, and that was, I pulled into the parking lot. It was 10 to 1, 10 to 2.
Yeah.
Something 10 to 1, I think, 10 to 2. It was packed completely. You know, I went around once and some lady was walking, she had me roll my window down and she said, "You can go park by the teen center, there's plenty of." Oh, good, I can walk, that was gonna give me some walking. But I went in, and what was nice, that I think pretty much all of the various clubs and groups were represented in the big room at the senior center, and they had people there to talk about each one. There were just, you know, all kinds of things going on. So it just also made me smile, and to see that there's very active seniors in our area. There's no lack of things to do if people know that they have the opportunity to participate in some of these things. It was very nice, and I was glad to see staff there. Got to see Dagny. She was manning one of the booths, I think, right as you come in to the facility. But they were there. They were expecting a lot of people coming in for a class, right? Because I don't think they've had an open house since
It's been a while. It's been
a while. But it was just very well attended. People trying to find out what other things there are to do in our area. So they have another group is called Nordic Hiking.
Nordic walking.
Nordic
Great.
Walking, and they provide the Nordic sticks, whatever they are. But they were all very willing to tell you about it, all the different groups. So anyway, make sure you read all those things, though. Not everybody here is a senior citizen, but those of us that are, take advantage of it. I'm going on the Blue Angels bus trip over to Treasure Island on the 11th. We did that last year. It went over and we took a hornblower cruise and watched it from there. This one's different, and I'm sure it'll be fun. It'll be a kick, so I will report on that. The DEIB signups that are coming out, that's starting.
What, the
First,
training?
the
Yeah,
training.
we have 3 training opportunities, one on Monday and next Monday, and then 2 on Tuesday.
Right, and those have been scheduled out throughout the months, I'm gonna be out of state, so I'm gonna miss the first ones. But I've got the other ones all on my calendar, so I hope if you got time to schedule yourself for one, that hopefully you can do that. I think, oh, Rogers Ranch, yeah, I'm gonna, may make it, may not, I fly in that day. But that is a fun event. And anything that Farmer John Mathieson has going there, that's another event that it's always very crowded. People are looking for plants and all the different things that they can get there. And I know that the spinning group that made a presentation, they were at Tinkers and Thinkers, and I believe they're also gonna be at the Rogers Ranch. So I talked to them at Tinkers and Thinkers, and they were happy to be back. I think that's all I have. If there's nothing else, I will adjourn this meeting at 7:46. Thank you.
Yeah.